Now, when it comes to uploading YouTube videos, there are two phases. Phase 1 is the repetitive step-by-step. This never changes. This is just repeating the same settings on your uploads every single time. Phase 2, though, goes more into the creative aspect of it, which I'll break down later in this video. But for now, let's start with phase 1. So I'm in the YouTube homepage here. Now, to upload a video, if you don't know, what you want to do is click create on the top right. Once you do that, you are obviously going to click on upload video. After you do that, you're going to be automatically redirected to YouTube Studio. But anyways, from here you have two ways of uploading the video. You can just click on select files and then just selecting the video from your folder. But what I like to do is drag and drop the video. Now, once you do that, you're going to see this. The first thing you want to do is click visibility, and you want to make sure that it's set to unlisted. You want to make sure that the black dot is on unlisted, okay? Not public, not private. You want it unlisted, and that's for multiple reasons. Number one, if you have it set to public, then it's obviously going to automatically go public without you having thumbnails, descriptions, and tags set. But if you have it on private instead of unlisted, YouTube won't be able to analyze your video, which means you won't know if you're limited on ads or if there's any copyright issues. So leaving it on unlisted is just the best practice, right? I've always done it. So once you do that, you want to go back to details. I never do anything to the title or the description of the video. But what I do is I scroll all the way down and make sure that no, it's not made for kids is selected. Of course, if you're making Roblox videos, Minecraft videos, toy reviews, and yes, of course, you can select yes, it's made for kids, but I'm going to set it to no, obviously. Scrolling down a little bit more, you're going to see altered content. I always click on no because I don't use AI visually in my videos, right? I do it for scripting and audio. But when it comes to like thumbnails or the actual visuals of the video, I didn't use AI to generate any of that. But if you did, obviously click yes. From here, we can go to video elements. This is more of like a phase 2 thing. I always skip it. For checks, I always want to take a look at that. Visibility, again, make sure it's unlisted. And from here, we can click on save. And now we're just going to leave it. We're going to ignore all of this. We're just going to click on close. And there we go. Now the video is being analyzed by YouTube. It's not public, it's not private, it's just there, okay? And it was very simple. So now that we're here, we can start with phase 2, and this is actually adding things to your video. So from here, we're going to click on details, this little pencil under your video. And now we can start with phase 2. Phase 2 is essentially just molding your video to a successful competitor's video. For example, if the title of my video is editing tutorial, I'm going to open another YouTube tab and I'm going to search up editing tutorial. From here, I can see what the best performing video was. This one was posted a year ago and it has 4.2 million views. So his title is how to edit so good your viewers get addicted to your videos. So what we're going to do is copy this title. Then I'm going to open up ChatGPT. I'm going to give it the command to reword the title, and then let's see what it gives me. So I like the fourth title that it gave me, so I'm going to copy that and I'm going to put it in the title of my video. Now for the thumbnail, we want to do the same exact thing. Either you're going to hire a freelancer to create a thumbnail that is very similar to his, or you create it yourself. Now this isn't a thumbnail tutorial, so we're going to skip that step, but let's go ahead and imagine that I create a very similar thumbnail. So anyways, after the title is there, we can scroll down and this is where we're going to add our description. Now if you're making automation videos or something with a script, it's not necessarily you talking like I am right now. What you can do is just grab the script of your video and put the first 2 paragraphs on here. Now let me tell you why I do this. The way descriptions work is very SEO search based. If you look at the description of this video, you can see that it's very literal. It's pretty much just a recap of everything that I said. And sometimes in some videos, what I do is I just copy paste the first 2 paragraphs of my script. That's because if the goal is SEO targeting, which means using high ranking keywords, the first 2 paragraphs of your script should already explain exactly what your video is about. And it's going to use every single keyword. If it doesn't, then that means you have some issues with your scripting. But anyways, that's what you want to do for the description. Now scrolling down below, we can see the upload file box here for your thumbnail. This is the same thing as uploading a video. Nothing really changes for this. I'm just going to drag and drop a random thumbnail from my desktop, and it's this one here. So cool, that's pretty much it. Now if we scroll down, we can see the option of playlists. A lot of people like to mess with this. You know, they say that creating playlists gives you a shit ton of views. I didn't really see much success with that. With my celebrity news YouTube channel that has over 200 million views, in the last 5 years, I think less than 100K viewers really clicked on the playlist. So I think it's pretty useless, to be honest. So I'm just going to ignore it. Now scrolling down, we do have end screens and cards. I kind of like to ignore end screens as well. You know, I'm not very traditional like these other guys. I think it's pretty useless, especially because a very small percentage of people actually make it to the end, and an even smaller percentage actually clicks on the end screen. But hey, fuck it, you know, I'll show you how to do it. What you do here is click on the little pencil icon. You're gonna see all of this pop up. Here at the bottom, you're gonna see this black line with a little black circle. You're gonna hover over it. You can see that your mouse icon changes. You're gonna click and drag it all the way to the right, kind of towards the end of your video. And we can see the timelines here. So we're gonna leave it to the last 7 seconds, and we're gonna click on one of these. How do we want it? Do we want to promote a video and a subscribe button at the top, like so? Do we want to do just 2 videos that look like this? You can also just hover over them and click and drag them and move them around, you know, whatever you want. But I think the best way to go about it is to just do the first one, where it recommends one of your videos, and it also recommends, you know, subscribing. So from that, you can click save, and that's pretty much it. Now moving on to cards, kind of the same thing. We're gonna click on that little pin. We're gonna go grab that little line with the black dots and then drag it to like minute 4. And we're just gonna click on video, playlist, or channel, whatever it is that you want to promote. So for me, I'm just gonna do video. I'm gonna click on that and then choose a random one, which I'm gonna do this one here. And that's it. Now, when a viewer makes it to 4 minutes and 31 seconds, they're gonna see this appear on the right side of their screen. From here, you can just click save. Scrolling all the way down, we're gonna leave everything as is, and we're gonna go to tags. This is where we wanna go back to our competitors' videos. So we're gonna go back to the other tab, we're gonna click on his videos, and this is where you wanna have vidIQ or vidninjas installed. But for this example, I'm gonna show you guys vidninjas. So from here, we can see what tags they used on their video. So you don't have to go on Google Trends and search up what the best keywords are for a tutorial on editing. You can just take the tags from a video that already performed. So we can see he used YouTube, creator, video editing, retention editing, all kinds of tags, right? So using vidninjas, I can just go down here to the bottom and click on the little copy to clipboard. We would go back to our YouTube studio, and right where it says add tag, we're gonna click on that, and we're just going to paste. And look at that. And from here, we just click on save. So that's pretty much how you want to do the tags. And from here, you can go to other competitors' videos, right? It doesn't have to be just this one. We can click on this guy, see what tags he used, and copy paste them into our tags tab. And the trick is that you want to fill out as much as possible. As you can see here at the bottom, I only have 395 of 500, so I can definitely add more tags to this. But scrolling down, we are going to ignore language and caption certification. That's because YouTube automatically identifies what language you're speaking, so it's pretty much useless. But anyways, yeah, we're going to keep scrolling down to category, which is kind of the most important one. Now, this is a very common question. What category is my YouTube channel in? The biggest issue and the biggest problem that people have with this is that they don't see the option that kind of relates to their channel, right? There's education, comedy, cars and vehicles, but every now and then someone starts a YouTube channel where, you know, none of those really apply. Well, it's an easy fix. You can just go on ChatGPT and ask it what it would be considered. And if that doesn't work, it kind of doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what it is. It's kind of like subscribers, you know, the category doesn't really take much effect into your video's performance anymore. And it hasn't for some time now, I would say about 3 years. But yeah, besides that, that's pretty much it. You know, from here you can click on this little drop down arrow next to unlisted, click on public, and then click publish on the bottom right. And that's how you upload a YouTube video. But something very important that I want to mention, and I guess this is kind of the sauce with like YouTube. The video that I made needed to be structured by a competitor's video. And that's because every video that you make, you need to have a successful competitor's video. Like there has to be a source, you know, a reason for it, a proven blueprint that video title works. You know, before you put a video in production, or if you have an idea, you need to find a competitor's video. That's what you need to do for every single YouTube channel you have, for every single video idea that you're going to do, especially when starting off. That's how you want to approach YouTube, right? Later in the future, once you get a little bit more experience, then you can start, you know, being fully original. But at the beginning, you want to mold everything like your competitors. Now, for those of you that do want to take YouTube a little bit more serious, you can click the link in my description or in the pinned comment of this video, and that's going to take you to my school community. For those of you that don't give a shit, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. But for those of you that do care, let me show you what's inside of my school community. The first thing you get is the blueprint step-by-step, which is kind of like, this is like whatever, it just kind of shows you how to put everything in order, especially for automation channels. But in the tutorial vault, this is where the entire course is, and this is over 60 videos where I give you step-by-step tutorials on how I started my YouTube automation channels and how I scaled them to over $1 million. You also get a list of the best niches to start right now with competitors' YouTube channels. You also get a link to pre-made thumbnail PNGs for you. So all you have to do is just drag and drop, and your thumbnail thumbnail structure is pretty much complete. You also get free background music. I paid a couple of music producers to make copyright music, and you can just download it there and use it. You can also hire editors, but the best part is that I go live 2 times every single week. This is where I speak with you guys directly, answer any questions, review your channels, all that good stuff. And usually this is where I go into the wins tab and show you guys like testimonials, and don't really feel like promoting right now, so have a good day. I want to go get coffee.